Welcome to this tutorial. The tutorial teaches you how to export data found in HomeAir and to establish the budget both for national staff and for staff who receive incentives from the Ministry of Health. The tutorial is divided into 3 parts, summarizing the various steps to take in order to establish the National Staff Annex. Export of the different variables contained in HomeAir for staff under contract, importing data into the NST Annex, and adapting the NST Annex to enable a project's HR requirements to be transposed into a budget. Step 1. Exporting pay variables from HomeAir. Before starting the export proper, make sure you have saved the budget file to your desktop that is located on the OOPS platform in the HR section. In addition, make sure you have updated the latest version of the statistics file located on the FTP. Once you are sure that these 2 files have been saved, open the HomeAir software, log in using your ID and usual password. Before performing any extractions, you must make a backup of HomeAir. Save the backup file, naming it Backup Before Budget 2015. In actual fact, you will need to restore this backup once you have performed the extractions for the budget. The first step is to generate the salaries for the current month. You do not need to adjust the salary variables such as leave, overtime hours, or night hours before generating payslips. To generate payslips, go into Payroll and select Generate Payslip. Generate salaries for months as shown in the window that appears. In this tutorial, we'll use the data from July 2014. A window appears asking if you want to generate payslips for all national staff. Click Yes. Wait until the payslips have been created. Upon completion, a window stating that the payslips have been generated appears. Click OK. We can now start to extract the data necessary to create the budget. The first extraction will be that of the pay variables for national staff under contract to MSF, along with staff who receive incentives. Go to Tools, then Analysis, then OCB, then Management, then Finance, then Budget, then Budget Estimation, and finally Budget Estimation.xml. Click on Run. A window will appear with the data covering the month for which you generated payslips, here, July 2014. You must also encode the HomeAir code of the project in question, as suggested by default in the window. Click on Validate. A document appears. This is the extraction of the pay variables for the budget. In this document, you will find the following information. The destination under which the national staff listed on the sheet will appear from 1 January 2014. The current accounting code valid until 31 December 2014. The new accounting code under which the national staff listed on the sheet will appear from 1 January 2015. The SAGA project code. The list of national staff for this destination, and the accounting code. The various salary components required to create the budget annex. You will note that the same information is present on the following sheets. The data present in this file is automatically saved in the budget folder, saved previously on your desktop. If national staff perform night hours in your project, go to nighthoursperstaff.xlm. If national staff perform overtime hours in your project, go to overtimeperstaff.xlm. Extraction of the data necessary to create the NST Annex is complete. Step 2. Importing data into the NST Annex for the budget. Open the NST Annex you received from your financial manager. In the Annex, you will find the following information: the project's SAGA code, the project name, the budget period. Do not work on any Annex that does not include this data. The yellow cells are for data that may be modified or into which data must be entered. Before importing the HomeAir extractions, make sure you enter the following data: Select the salary payment currency in the drop-down menu. Enter the month for which you generated payslips in Omer. In the example, we generated payslips for July 2014. Enter the number of months when you performed an extraction for 9 hours and for overtime. In the example, we extracted 6 months. Enter the average number of hours worked per month. In the example, we used 160. Enter the seniority percentage. When all this basic data is entered into the NST annex, data importing can take place. Leave the NST annex open. Open the budget folder on your desktop that contains the data exported from Homer. Go into the data file and open the .csv file. Select all the data in the Excel file by clicking the square in the top left-hand corner. Copy all of the data. Go back to the NST annex. Go to the Extraction tab, place the cursor in cell A1 and paste the data. If you have a Homer extraction for overtime and/or night hours, then repeat this action by copying the data into the OT and NH tabs. Once you have imported all of the data pertaining to your project, go back to the NST tab. To update the data imported in the various tabs, click the Update Based on Extraction button. You will then see the table updated with all the data exported from Homer. Step 3. Updating data. This table is split into several columns that will now be described. Column B contains the destination. Verify it with your financial manager. Column C contains the new accounting code. Verify it with your financial manager. Column D is not filled in since Cost Center is not required for budgeting in 2015. Column I is empty. For each staff member, you must state the number of months during which the member will work for MSF in 2015. For instance, if you have scheduled a reduction in the number of expatriate homes and the home leases end in June, indicate 6 in column I. Column S must be completed manually if you pay your employees a 13th month or other specific bonuses. Column T must be completed if a salary revision is scheduled in the coming months. We advise you to create a formula to fill in this column. For example, if a 3% salary revision was approved by HQ for the entire staff, applying from 1 May, then the formula in column R asterisk 3% times 8 for the number of months in the year to which the salary revision will apply. The final 2 columns give the total annual cost expressed in the payment currency as well as in euros. One of the actions that must be performed to enable planning of HR requirements will be to remove or add national staff. To remove a line that is unnecessary for the 2015 budget, you must select the line and then click on the Delete the Line button. To add a line for staff to be recruited, for example, you must select the line and then click on the Add a Line button, which automatically adds a line at the bottom. You must then complete the various items of information required. For example, the need for an additional OPD nurse for 6 months from March to August. First of all, you must enter the destination, in this case OPS, the accounting code, in this case 66003. Leave the cost center and staff code columns blank, since staff have not yet been entered in Homer. In the name column, write staff to be recruited. Give the position. In our example, it is a nurse. It will be a level 6 position. In the number of months column, indicate the number of months when this post will be occupied next year. In our example, we need the nurse for 6 months. The seniority column will remain empty. In the month of recruitment column, give the month in which you want the new staff member's contract to start. In our example, we want to hire the nurse in March, so we will enter 3. For the night hours and overtime columns, calculate an average based on other staff members working in the same position. In the gross salary column, give the basic salary of an OPD nurse per month in the salary payment currency without taking seniority into account. In the MSF contributions column, enter the MSF contributions per month for a position at this level. In the other allowance column, state the other fees that MSF pays an employee for a position of this type. The following 2 columns, total without night hours and overtime, and total including these 2 variables, are calculated automatically. For the bonus column, the bonus will change depending on the number of months. Make sure that you take the contract length into account for this type of case. In the salary revision column, apply the same formula as for other staff members. As you can see, end-of-contract indemnities are not included in this annex. However, you must indicate them in the OTH annex based on a home air simulation. When you have updated all data, go back to the top of the sheet to the summary table. On the left-hand side, you will find a summary of national staff by destination, and on the right-hand side, a summary of national staff by accounting code. Thank you for your attention. Best wishes for every success in use of the National Staff Annex.